And we should say, you must extend this love and care for all life, to embrace yourself as well. For you count just as much with God as all other life counts with God. We know from our point of view he's not obsessed with our perfection. He's got a lot on his plate. At least this universe, and probably a lot more. But we do know we count. That he is such an incredible, fantastic, awesome being that he can be personal and relate individually to all life. And we reflect that in our attitude to life. So I see a worm stranded on the pavement and at risk of being trodden on or eaten by some predator, and I rescue him to the moist earth nearby. Why? Because I'm a child of God. I care for all life. I want the goodness and benefit to all. I can't give it to all. I'm a child. I'm rather limited in power, but I can exercise it in tiny ways. I can smile at people, I can greet them, I can bless them, I can love on them. And I do. The blessing is staggering. The most selfish person would be drawn to it because it's such a blessing. It makes life so wonderful, you'd be a madman not to do it. So that's my thesis, that it's a world in which any rationality at all leads to God, leads to godliness. But a lack of godliness is a lack of rationality. You can only pursue a lack of godliness by an acute irrationality of self-interest. A misunderstanding of what your true self-interest is, which turns on the benefit and the blessing of all the wonderful, magnificent, fantastic creation that God has made. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Make sure then that you value what is right that you do yourself. Review your actions and your intentions, and that which is good, give it credit. Love on that which is good, or you won't build on it, and you'll be the poorer. We build on all that's good, whoever does it, another person or ourselves. We are, in a Buddhist fashion, very objective in that way. Now I can't sacrifice myself any more than I can sacrifice you. It wouldn't be right. We're not here to all go out and get crucified. One crucifixion would be quite enough. And I hope to goodness that even one didn't happen. You might wonder what I mean by that statement. Let me pause for a moment. I wish to God that the historicity of the story of the crucifixion be purely a myth. There is no way I can really reconcile myself to a most wonderful person having to suffer so terribly. That is just so repellent to us that it does not bear thinking about. Now, I know people feel differently, and I understand that in a sense, but it's not how I feel. I can experience enough of evil in this world without thinking of that, and still be of the behaviour that avoids evil like the plague, without that having to be a reality as well. And I'm not thinking on it. Whatsoever's good and lovely, I think on these things. I don't turn my eyes to the reality of evil, but I don't live with it, I don't indulge in it with my mind. I don't give it more than the attention that's necessary to persuade me I'm going to avoid it like the plague. That's enough. And I do try to avoid it like the plague. And I hope that's enough. But I do agree if it were enough, I probably wouldn't be left in this world any longer because, well, as far as I'm concerned, the cosmos would have achieved what God purposed for it. Unless I'm here to bless others, of course. That's a nice thought, isn't it? I'm just lingering in order to bless others. But that's a nice hope. I like that one. Bit lacking in humility, isn't it? Not the Christian thing, is it? I like the idea of that. Thank you, Heavenly Father. So in case you missed the point, do make sure that you do give yourself the credit for what you do good and to clear what you do badly. And, well, adjust your behaviour and values, beliefs and actions accordingly. It's quite simple, isn't it? Nothing terribly new about that. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I'm in review here, but I think to be more efficient, there's a few things that I'm going to adjust on my recording. You might think it's a bit late at this incredible number, but most of them I haven't put on YouTube, of course, by any means. Only just started. A recording, nobody's going to listen to anything that's longer than half an hour, really. But for economy of effort, there's no point in me doing lots of tiny ones, because that actually makes quite a lot of effort in putting each one on and having it available. So I think there's a sort of optimal size, which is, shall we say, for argument's sake, not more than 40 minutes anyway, long, more or less. And may actually be of a variety of topics, not just one unified whole. You know, it's all very complete and nice to do it that way, but truth doesn't come in that way, you know. It comes in flashes of insight. And also I'm mindful that I don't want to not communicate things that are good and relevant simply because they're not all of the same topic or something. You know, if I have hundreds of small recordings, then I've got a lot of work in putting each one out. It's not going to happen. So I think I'm going to take it that in some sense I record each day about, for argument's sake, half an hour on a recording, and then I stop and start the next topic at least is on a different recording, or is even taken up again on the next recording. So I might do several recordings on one night, or one day, so to speak. You know, it might be 3 or 4, even 5 or 6, but not unnecessary large number of small ones. And if I attend to what I'm thankful for in the day and the matters that arise out of that, that sense tends to give the greatest blessing. Not some grandiose, I'm going to deal with this topic and master it sort of approach to intellectual approach, which I'm always in danger of doing because I'm of that sort of training, and experience in teaching and lecturing. But it's not really the best way of communicating. It's not the most natural way. It might look very polished and so forth. But I'm not out to be polished. I'm out to bless. Different goal, isn't it? I'm trying to be focused on how can I be the greatest blessing, both in me and through me. I'm not ignoring myself. It's a blessing to me, and I know it doing this. And that helps to keep me going when I slacken off in purposing being a blessing to others. That the two do move together. There's not some great self-sacrificial act on my part, but it's not some totally selfish act either, if you see what I mean. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for launching me off in this way, in a slightly different direction, or more rational way of doing it in the future. Thank you for your leading, Father.